What's up, what's up, what's up, my friends? Welcome. Get ready. Grab a snack and a bevvy. It's time for you and I to have a chit-chat. Straight up facts. Tell it like it is. Laugh till you pee your pants. Cry because you probably needed to. And I can't promise, and I'm not going to throw any F-bombs, but I can promise you'll feel a lot better after listening. It's time to get personal, one-on-one, down and dirty, and have a coffee talk. Buckle up. Let's go. Hello, everybody. Happy Saturday. Oh my gosh. So I don't know if you guys have been getting the amazing weather, my friends, but we're seeing some pretty dang good weather where we are. So it made up for that late fall snow that we got. So whatever, Midwest. Snow, splooge, doesn't matter. Happy Saturday. Hope you guys got yourself a nice beverage. Hope you guys had an amazing week. Hope you guys have an awesome weekend to come. What's going on with us? Well, first off the bat, those of you know, we have been in the process, the admissions process of getting Peter into a private Christian academy locally to us. And let me tell you, it is an arduous process, but we're getting it done. So we had to get a pastoral reference done. We had to get a teacher's reference done. Even though I homeschool, it's like they throw that at you, but we go to co-op. So they're actual legitimate teachers that teach in our co-op. Not that I didn't mean that in that, like I, delegitimatized myself, but that we actually have teachers who have left the school forum and have decided to teach co-op. And so those kind of teachers. And then he took the Iowa Basic Skills Test, which he did very well in. He scored 90th percentile over the pretty much the country. He took the COGAT, was perfect for that. It's like everything turns out. I did a good job, okay, overall as a homeschooler, right? But one of the things that we had to do was an entrance exam. He sits down with the teacher he'll be with, which is third grade, and they give him like a little math test and they do some reading and stuff like that. And I'm happy to announce that he did well. He did well. So they were like, yeah, he's thumbs up. Academically, he's like perfect, And so one of the things I liked was that this school sat us down with the like teacher academic liaison and the behavior therapist and all that. That was a school therapist, counselor. I don't know what they call them now. So I don't mean to lessen that, her role, but they were all very nice people. And, I'm usually, I had a really bad experience with school people, right? They wanted to tell me he had an IEP. They like in pre-K 4. They're like, hey, I'm like, wait, what? No. I refuse. Like they did this entire, I don't know if I ever like told you guys this, but so we come from a pretty big and very good at the time school district. And I actually looked for a home specifically in this area to be in this school district. It is well funded. Now I know why. They just give everybody IEPs and get tons of funding. I said it and I don't give a shit. Number 2, I am not signing off on an IEP on a 4-year-old. Like, are you kidding me right now? They're not even like fully even into anything at that point outside of like, I don't know, play. Duh. So they did this full workup on him. And then we're like, hey, so all you have to do is sign these papers and it'll follow him through high school. And I'm like, I'm not signing those. I'm not signing them. And they were like jaw dropped, right? And then when I took them into kindergarten, they were like, oh, hey, you don't have any of his IEP paperwork, but we see that, there's stuff here, but you didn't sign it. And I'm like, yeah, and I'm still not signing it for the 11 days that he went. That said, I don't have this greatest experience. And also tutoring with, and also having classes with Dr. Cheryl Peterson is a teacher that we met along the way in our homeschool co-ops. And she is absolutely she's one of those people where, well, number one, not only can I call her my friend right now because we like dig our coffee times and our personal time, but I really she is one of those teachers that I know Peter is going to talk about when he's older. That's like the significance she has on the teaching platform. She really, really understands how kids work. And she works with those personalities and those little skills. And she never says that kids are like deficient in things or not so good. She really hones in on what they're good at and fosters those things. And I think that's super awesome, especially in, the formidable years when like you're told that you're sucky at math. And then of course you hate math your whole life like I did, right? It like that. Like, had I been just fostered that, you know what, Denise, you're not really math oriented when it comes to just numbers, but you're really good at math when you apply it to something that you like organic chemistry. So I like that those things have been fostered with him. And so, we are, pleased that she's even come into our lives. But, I love that this school includes in their admissions process that you sit down and address anything. These are smaller classrooms. His third grade class is the largest they've seen. I think there's 25 with a teacher and an aide. And apparently they had 2 aides, but somebody's pregnant. So there's that. But I get that, right? They're like, don't worry about, I was focusing on telling them how we're all ready, even though we haven't gotten a formal, they want to work with us. Yeah. There's more to this process. So we did that interview with admissions. We did the admissions test for Peter. Now we have to meet with the board and give testimony because it's Christian Academy. And I mean, I have more than enough testimony, pretty much everybody in my family. So I'm not worried about that part. The hardest part for me is over. Peter sitting with the teacher. I mean, when he was given an hour, he finished in 25 minutes and then helped her put all the chairs up in the room. I'm like, you're the best, dang it. But yeah, I was pretty excited about it. And I'm enthusiastic about this school because one of the things they were saying, again, I was going into letting them know that it's important for us that I understand he's coming from a homeschool background now, and we have to assimilate into a more rigid and consistent and long school day. And that, for us, we're concentrating on getting him to sit down. And she's like, oh, don't even worry about that. We'll just put him in the back of the class so he doesn't stand up in front of kids. We have kids like that. And we just allow them the chance to get up and do that up and down, because he does. He'll go up, kneel, sit, kneel, sit, And they're like, yeah, I don't care about that stuff. And I'm like, really? Because that's really what I've been hung up on. Catholic school trauma victim. Yeah, you have to sit down and get your ass beat when I went to school. But they're like, no, we just want to make sure that everything's okay. And I'm like, hey, just because I'm dropping him off here to go to school doesn't mean that I'm signing off his education to you guys. I'm letting you assist me in my education. I'm going to continue adjacent. Is it called adjacent? I feel there's another word I wanted, but that's what came out. I am going to work continuing to school him at home in our subjects that I feel is important and take what you're teaching them and elaborate on anything that I feel needs to be elaborated on. And they all looked at me like I was insane. And then I realized that it doesn't matter what school you go to in today's world, that people legitimately drop their kids off at school and expect them to be fucking all you're responsible for teaching my children. And I don't do anything but pick them up and drive them places and stick them in front of a TV when I get home. And to me, that's just never going to be the case. Number one, I'm fucking Gen X. No, it's just a no. Just no. Number two, I just think that's wrong. I think that's a lot of the shit that is wrong with kids today is that we have left them to the devices of school only. And then now we look into the school systems, the public school systems, and some of the private school systems as well. Let's be honest, right? Um, you look at all of the corruption and where shit has gone, and then we're all mad that like they're brainwashing our kids, or they're showing them or exposing them to things that we don't approve of or that are age inappropriate in certain circumstances. And then we get surprised, and it's like, well, you've just been dropping their asses off at school for how many years? Like, how has this just become a problem now? You give people an inch, they take a mile. It is what it is, right? And so I think they were just genuinely shocked that I wanted to be a participant in my son's education. I mean, I'm paying you guys to supplement, hone in what he wants, the social aspect. I'm paying you guys a lot of tuition to make sure you do that. I'm not just leaving it up to you, though. I also want to, elaborate and make sure that all the history is history and this and this. I want to be active. I'm not going to be that bothersome mom, but I also want to make sure that, like, I know what he's studying, this and that. And they were all looking at me, and I said, oh, it's just very important to me that I honor that you guys are teachers and that's your expertise, but I'm a parent and it's my job to supplement that income when he's at home. You're not a babysitting school service. And you should have literally the admissions teacher's liaison. She looked me right in the face and she was like, thank you. Thank you very much for those words. She was like shocked. And the admissions, director that I've been chatting with, she kind of just looked at her like, I told you this lady was a shit. That's exactly how she looked at her. I was like, ah. But I'm really confident now that we're kind of getting the things rolling, so that's good. So that's what's going on with Academy. I know a lot of people have been asking, and I will not be mentioning the name of the school, obviously for privacy reasons. But all I can say is that it's an academy and it's Christian based. So there's that. What's next on the agenda? Oh, hey, guess what I did, guys? Guess what I did? I went to church. Oh my gosh. Okay. So I talked about this, I think on last week's coffee talk. I'm not really sure. If you guys haven't noticed, I'm doing a coffee talk every weekend. So right now, because I'll tell you why in a minute, but I was pretty, the boys went overnight and slept in the submarine. Okay. At a maritime museum, naval museum in Wisconsin. And so, yeah, and it was on water. A lot of people were asking like, oh, that's really cool. Like inside the museum. No, it was in the water outside at the Maritime Museum. And so apparently it is like, it works still. It only has 2 engines. The last time they took it out and submerged, it was like in 1986 for 24 hours. And they just feel that they don't want to tax the sub anymore and do that. And, apparently they're not allowed in like the captain's quarters anymore, or like the I don't know what they call it. The cockpit. What's a cockpit called on a ship? I don't know. On the submarine, nobody's allowed in the command center anymore. Let's just do that. So they got to see the torpedo bit. Now, the reason why nobody was allowed in the command center or driving center anymore, where the periscope is and all that, is because apparently there was a Boy Scout troop there that broke stuff. And it cost so much to get it repaired that they just opted to leave people out of there. And I'm like, good call. Good call. I used to insure Boy Scouts of America, now Scouts of America, whatever the hell they are. And that would have easily been covered under the insurance policy. So they hope they hit them up. Drinking. So then you could hear Buster in the background just with his back talk. I cannot wait till this dog hits adulthood. That's all I have to say. It is like having a 150-pound ball of fur back talking you all day. Sometimes he just barks at me and I feel like he needs to go out. So I'll stop recording, get up, whatever I'm doing, pick everything up, turn it off, halt it, pause it, all of that, get up. And he just looks at me like, what's up? Want to play? And I'm like, no, oh my gosh, no. So while the boys were at Maritime Museum, sleeping on a sub, which was interesting. If you didn't see any of the pictures that I had posted on social media, I did it in stories, so they're probably not there now. So anyway, Mr. Sith, who's 6'3", slept in a top bunk. He took a picture. He had like a foot of headspace, and his legs were bent to fit in the cot. He said he still slept like 6 hours, which I'm not surprised because he could sleep anywhere. Okay. And I was like, you're probably snoring. He's like, somebody else was snoring too. I'm like, okay. And then apparently sometime in the morning, Peter woke up and woke Mr. Sith up to switch because Pete wanted to sleep on top. So then Mr. Sith went down by the stairs and he went up because that was like, Peter got the great bunk because it was like right by the stairs. So it was, I don't know. I felt like it would be like a little cubby. I thought it was cool. Anyway, while they did that, they didn't come home. That was Saturday to Sunday. They didn't get home till Sunday afternoon. I thought, you know what? I am taking this opportunity to not watch church online, and I am going to go to church. I am going to church. I am releasing the trauma from like all of this organized religion, growing up Catholic, and I am just going to go to freaking church. And I did. And I was very happy I did it. I went apparently on baptism day. I was like, why are you giving me all these signs? But it was wonderful. And I'll be honest, I managed to avoid being approached by weirdos, which I've talked about that. For some reason, when you're new at church, these super weird people or super like into Jesus people come up to you. I'm totally okay with that, but not on my first day. I did go up to ask someone where like the kids would go when they were there, what the process was. And she was super nice. I don't remember her name. She introduced herself, but I don't remember her name. And she took me over there, showed what door to come in. I actually pre-registered Pete for next week and all of that. And so I thought, well, this is cool. Now he's all done. It's taken care of. She told me to go back out and see her. They gave me a welcome gift bag and it had like, a little like card with some stuff in it. A t-shirt, a water bottle. I'm like, wow, really? You definitely don't get this in Catholic church. Let's see. What did I get when Carl and I joined the first Catholic parish when we were going right after we were married? The first thing we got from them was a package of envelopes. For those of you who don't know the Catholic envelopes, they literally send you pre-dated, and they're not just Sunday. Sometimes they'll include, hey, this is for extra maintenance. Hey, this is for painting. Hey, this is for a ministry somebody's doing. They'll include envelopes for you to either bring in on Sunday or to mail them in or drop them off at the church or rectory or wherever for money. I'm like, I can't right now. It's true, though. And that's how they know you're not at church on Sunday, when the envelopes don't show up. And yes, you could be giving cash. But in a Catholic church, if you're getting envelopes and you're a registered parishioner, I suggest you put them dollars, them Benjamins, put them Benjamins in the envelope, or they start calling your ass out, which I never liked. I never liked that shit because my parents volunteered for everything because we could not afford things. And so in order to like pay their dues, my dad would paint the rectory, do the landscaping. My mom would volunteer for everything, and they still gave us a hard time. So it really doesn't even matter. So enough of that. But as we were talking, they asked, what church did you come from? And I said, well, I've been watching your church online. And before that, and on occasion, we watch our friends. Sometimes we double bubble on Sunday, but we watch our friend's church. He has a pastor in Ada, Oklahoma, and his wife. And they were like, oh, that's how sweet is that? And she was like, well, that's wonderful. And she's like, what church did you go to like before that? Like, did you grow up? And I'm like, yes, I'm a recovering Catholic. And she just looked at me and she was like, I have never heard that before. But now that you say it, know that I understand you because I am also a recovering Catholic. It was like this light bulb went over oh my gosh, this woman is spot on with this. Their band there is the shit. Oh my God, they're so good. I mean, he knows they're good because he's there. But you guys, they really jam. They're really, really good. And it's a nice full band too. So I love that. And that's if coming from a Catholic church where there's maybe a freaking organ. Yeah, that doesn't happen. But I love it. I love it. I love that they have words on the wall because I don't even remember people's names, let alone the words of songs anymore. Okay. I loved that everything pertains to something in real life, right? It's like, what? During the lectern or whatever they call it. I like the pastor. He's super high end. He likes coffee. Hello. What more could you want? We are actually meeting him. I'm trying to think, are we meeting him? Have we met him already? I don't remember. I don't know what coffee talk this is, so I can't tell you. I don't know. I don't know. Here it is. No, yes, we have met the pastor. We have met Pastor Todd. Obviously, you guys know I record these ahead of time and I try to keep all my current events in a folder so I can just cross them off and keep talking about them. But yes, so I went to church. I broke the trauma cycle. It was basically my own fear in just the negative feelings and history that I had with the Catholic Church, and watching The Keepers on Netflix did not, it really was the catalyst in pushing me into church. And I'm like, oh my gosh, I have to do this. Like, why am I letting this experience that I didn't even pick, right? I didn't choose to be Catholic. My parents were Catholic. I didn't choose to be baptized. They baptized me, which is great. But like, how much sin do you have as a baby? I'm just saying. Okay. I get the rites and all that. Like, I don't feel like I need to have a Eucharist. I don't need, it's just, there's so much like routine and sacrament that in all honesty is made up by the Catholic Church. None of that is, nobody does that but the Lutherans, which basically, don't come at me, but it's the same thing, just a different name. And they change what rules they didn't like. But all that stuff, I feel like there's something special in knowing that you are a certain adult age or a child age. Like Peter wants to be baptized. Again, he knows he's been baptized because when I had him, I hadn't found a new church and didn't know that this was an option yet. But like, I know kids his age right now are getting their first communion and I'm not feeling it. Nope. I'm not feeling it at all. So I feel like, look how much, you got to pay for everything, right? You got to pay for baptism. And don't tell me that baptism is free, because if you cannot walk into a Catholic church and get anything done without a large donation. And I'm telling you, when they tell you, a donation you can afford, these are the things we suggest. Yeah. Okay. Stop it. And then confession, and that confirmation. It's like, I'm sorry, but I don't need permission to confess to God. Like, that is my right as a child of God, as a Christian, to have a direct line. That's why he sent Jesus here, for us to forget. He literally came here in the flesh to die for our sins and start us clean. And that we could literally be forgiven and saved in his eyes, like, because of what happened, and then resurrected back to God. Like, the Father, I don't understand why I need a middleman. You know what I'm saying? Sorry. You could tell I'm a little angry about this. And I know so many people are shamed by this, but I'm starting to talk about it vocally within my family as well. And I will tell you that I must have a point, because they ain't saying shit. Just saying. What else is going on? That's pretty much it today. I went to church. We're all going to church. We met the pastor. I actually, I may volunteer in the coffee shop. I know that's going like, wait, that's like all in kind of thing for me. I'm going to give myself till the end of this month. And in May, if those positions are still available, I know that it was meant for me to be in the coffee shop. So I will volunteer for the coffee shop during my service. So, trying to think. That's pretty much it. That's all I got for today. So you guys enjoy your Saturday. I hope it's wonderful where you are. And until next time, my friends, lead with kindness. Bye-bye.